The Rocky Mountains look like the safest place on Earth. Clean air, cold rivers, alpine meadows, granite going gold at sunset. That feeling of safety is exactly what makes this place dangerous. Because these mountains are not empty, and they are not gentle. We're ranking 15 threats by one measure. How hidden the danger really is. We start with the obvious. We end with something almost nobody believes is real. Quick thing before we start. Subscribe now if you spend any time outdoors. This channel covers the wildlife that's actually out there, not the brochure version. Takes 2 seconds. Now, the countdown. 15. The elk. The most photographed animal in the Rockies, and people treat it like scenery. A 700-pound bull in the fall rut will charge anything that moves. A mother elk will trample someone who gets near a hidden calf. It's not hypothetical. Mountain towns log multiple elk injuries every single week in season. 14. The mountain goat. It poses on cliff edges like a mascot, but it carries 2 dagger-sharp horns, sharp enough that goats have killed full-grown bears with them. Years near hikers have made them fearless. One documented case, a goat fatally gored a hiker on a ledge with no railing. 13. The bighorn sheep. It's on the state seal, so nobody sees it as a threat. But a ram's horns can weigh 30 pounds, and he uses them by charging at 30 miles an hour into other rams for hours. That's the animal standing at the roadside pullout, while tourists walk up with their phones out. 12. The rattlesnake. People assume snakes stay in the desert. Wrong. They climb well into Rocky Mountain foothills, camouflaged and motionless on sun-warmed rock. Most bites happen because the snake never got the chance to warn you first. The venom destroys tissue and stops blood from clotting. 11. The black widow. Not a southern spider, it's living in the woodpile behind your cabin right now. It doesn't chase you, it waits in a dark corner. Nearly every bite happens the same way. A hand reaching for firewood, a foot sliding into an old boot. Its venom is stronger than a rattlesnake's, drop for drop. 10. The moose. Here's the twist. Moose injure more people than bears and wolves combined. A 1,000-pound bull has almost no fear of you, and it doesn't stalk. It just gets irritated, and suddenly it's on top of you. Most attacks start with someone's off-leash dog. If you think that was surprising, this is where it gets serious. Everything left on this list isn't just dangerous. Most people don't even know it's up there. A predator that vanished for 80 years and just came back. A disease out of a history book, still alive in the dirt. Stick around, because the last 2 entries are the whole reason I made this video. 9. The mountain lion. It's everywhere and almost never seen. That's the entire strategy. It follows silently and closes distance in a few bounds. Most people who live their whole lives in lion country never see one. That doesn't mean one never saw them. 8. The black bear. Tens of thousands live in exactly the campgrounds and cabin towns where people vacation. A bear that learns to associate people with food loses its fear fast and stops leaving. Fatal attacks are rare, but rare isn't zero, and the numbers here are the real danger. 7. The gray wolf. Wolves were wiped out of Colorado by the 1940s. Then, starting in December 2023, wildlife officials reintroduced them, and packs are now breeding in the wild for the first time in 80 years. Most people driving through have no idea they're back. 6. The wolverine. Most people don't even know it lives in the lower 48. Pound for pound, it may be the most fearless animal in North America. It's been documented driving bears and mountain lions off their own kills. Attacks on humans are basically unheard of, but the fact that this animal is out there at all is the point. 5. The grizzly bear. Gone from Colorado, but very much alive in Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho, where the population keeps expanding into places people now live and hike. Most maulings happen when a hiker rounds a blind bend and surprises a bear, usually a mother with cubs, at a distance too short to react. 4. The mosquito. Colorado has ranked as one of the worst states in the country for West Nile virus, with dozens of deaths in a single bad year. It breeds in ordinary standing water, irrigation ditches, stock ponds. No vaccine, no cure. This tiny insect has killed more people here in a year than every large predator combined. 3. The deer mouse. It carries hantavirus, first identified in 1993 in the Four Corners region, where healthy young people suddenly began dying of respiratory failure. The mouse isn't even sick. It just leaves the virus in cabin dust over winter. Someone sweeps the floor in spring, and that's the exposure. No cure, no vaccine. 2. The Rocky Mountain wood tick. Named after this exact place, and most people have no idea what it carries: Colorado tick fever, tularemia, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Some ticks can even trigger paralysis that climbs the body from the feet up. Pull the tick, and it usually reverses. Miss it, and it can be fatal. 1. The plague. Yes, that plague. The bacteria behind the Black Death still lives permanently in prairie dogs and ground squirrels across the southern Rockies, carried by fleas. Human cases are still confirmed almost every year in this region, and some wildlife refuges have had to close trails after outbreaks in prairie dog colonies. Caught early, antibiotics work. Missed, it can kill within days. So look back down the list. The elk and the bighorn are on the postcards. The plague is in the soil. The closer we got to the thing that should genuinely worry you, the smaller and more hidden it got. The air is still clean, the rivers are still cold. None of that was ever the point. This place is exactly as beautiful as it looks, and exactly as dangerous as it isn't supposed to be at the same time. Subscribe for more, and tell me in the comments which one on this list surprised you most.